You and I both believe the education system is broken.
Yep.
How is it broken in your mind? And what is the solution for a 21st century education system with all the technology that we have today?
Yeah, so it comes to me in a lot of different, like again, one of those, lots of different answers, but not to sound cliche, but think about how fast the world has changed, right? We both got phones sitting next to us. Think of what's on our phone compared to when 20 years ago, not 150 years ago, 20 years ago. Our world has grown exponentially. The knowledge we take in, like just think of everything you need is on Google, and I mean it's incredible what's at our fingertips, right? What they say is not a million years ago, when we have more power in a cell phone than President Clinton had running the world, basically.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? This is more than all the mainframes.
It's insane. Like people don't realize it because if you're just coming into it, you don't realize how difficult it is.
I tell that to my kids all the time, right? So just think about that. That's how fast the world has grown exponentially. But now that's only in the last 20 years. But let's just say if you went back to the classroom, high school or college, of 75 years ago. If you brought somebody from 75 years ago to today, they couldn't believe all of this. But if you brought them to a classroom, what's really changed?
Yeah, we look largely the same.
The blackboard's a whiteboard.
Yeah.
The same books are being taught, the same theory, the same algebra, the world has grown exponentially and our education system has grown linear, right? So, you know, one of the top trending terms right now for college kids is why go to college? Because by the time the ink dries on your diploma, what you learned is already outdated.
Yes.
Right? And that's just a fact. And they're talking MIT. Like MIT graduates are saying, I'm done. And what you taught me, I need to go back to school or learn from somebody. And I think we do traditional education because it's what our parents and our grandparents and great-grandparents did. But the world is shifting. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, there is so much knowledge we can get from here that we don't have to learn I'm watching my kids go through traditional education and it's driving me crazy. Thank God we're the parents who are and teaching them different aspects. But the fastest way to the end result is to learn specialized knowledge. Specialized knowledge just means somebody's done it. Like when you were over in Iraq. Yeah. If somebody's done what you want to do more than you, longer than you, deeper than you, better than you, you can go figure it out on your own. You can go back to traditional education at a snail's pace, and when you're done, you're still going to have to learn from somebody else. Or what the world has opened up for us is just find somebody who's already done it and is willing to share that with you for money.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well, the story that I always tell is that when I wanted to start my first online business, I ended up buying I got a recommendation from a friend of mine who said, you should go check out this guy, Ryan Dice. And Ryan and I, we know each other now, he was part of War Room for a number of years, but I went and bought his napkin funnel blueprint thing that he was selling at in like 2008 or something. And I remember talking to the guy, he said, well, I don't know, it was $1,000, $2,000, something like that. And I talked to the guy, I'm like, are you serious? Like this is you buy this garbage? And he's like, dude, trust me, it'll be good, you'll learn a little something. I attribute that one course to making me a millionaire. Like I got my first $1 million in my business was generated based off of that information. It's like, I talk about what is that knowledge worth to you? It's actionable. You can use it right now. And somewhere locked away in you, like you and I both believe that in every single one of us, there is a knowledge or a skill that other people want and they're hungry for.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you know something somebody else doesn't.
Yes.
And they want it more than ever.
Yeah.
So here's something I'm going to challenge you to think through. Learning from someone who's already been there compared to learning in a classroom on trial and error. There is zero doubt in my mind, learning from somebody who's already been there is the winner. It is not up for argument, it's up for your interpretation. You've been programmed a certain way. There are people that just think that's ridiculous. Yeah. I need to go through the process. I need to follow the channels. I need to go to grade 13. And listen, not all college is bad. What would we do without doctors and people who need to gain that valuable knowledge? But if you look at right now, more than ever before in history, there's only about 17% of people who get a college degree and actually use it and like it. 17%. What do most people do? They get out of college. Napoleon Hill said it in 1937. True learning begins the day traditional education ends. In 1937, right? The world is just finally realizing it, but people are realizing it in record numbers, right? The knowledge industry is heading towards $1 billion a day.
Yeah, it's
right?
like 330 million. I did the numbers the other day. It's like
reverse it,
$330 million a day.
And Forbes said it's headed towards $1 billion a day by 2025.
Yeah.
Because what are people doing? They're home saying, I need to do more. I know there's more to give the world, especially after the whole Corona thing.
Yeah.
People got to sit home and reflect and go, I don't want to go back to the life I used to have.
Yep.
You're probably watching. Raise your hand, like virtually, if you like had time to actually think about your life and go, no, I deserve more.
Yeah.
I want my business to grow, or I want to finally start that business, right?
Yeah.
And what better industry than to serve with knowledge that you have, help other people go faster and get paid to do it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's been Tony Robbins' life for 40 plus years, mine for 20 plus.
Yeah.
And that's why we got together and done this, because we got 60 years in this industry. We've done it pretty well. Yeah. And we decided to create a process to get people to go, oh wow, I do know something. Oh wow, people do need it. These are the people who need it. Here's how I sell it to them, and here's how I serve them.
Yeah. And so is that where you want your business to go? Is really kind of being that
it lights me up more than anything. It fired me up again. I'm back to feeling like I'm
that's the
25 and on fire.
It's so funny because that's the way I felt when I started teaching this stuff, because I feel as though it's so critical that I'm a big believer that in order for you to be free, it has less to do with what a government is doing or what, any of that, and has a lot more to do with how much money you have. The more money you have, the more opportunity you get, the more mobility you have. And you said something that I really, really like. You said, money is a lot like alcohol, or wealth is like alcohol. It just exaggerates who you are as a person, right? So money doesn't make you evil. It doesn't make you a bad person. We tell ourselves all kinds of lies about money, when in reality we're really shackling ourselves to what I call, wage slavery and time prostitution, right? When in reality, what we should be doing is embracing this idea that we need more increase in our life, that greater wealth gives us greater opportunity. What do you think are the biggest things, the biggest, I guess, lies that people tell themselves about money?
Yeah, it's funny, you mentioned Joe Polish before, but Joe Polish, I think, is the first person I ever heard say this, but I've been saying it forever, is, when people say money's evil, I'm like, you haven't given enough away.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Right? Like, you haven't, and let's get back to that, but I think the biggest lie about picture this, picture 2 couches. You're on one couch, money's on another couch, and there's a therapist in the middle. And you're looking up going, you're evil, money. You're the root of all evil. While simultaneously, you're like, I don't have the freedom, I don't have the time, I can't help my family, I can't make a difference in the world, and I want to right now. So all the things that you stress about, and this is based on stats, not my theory, most of the things you worry about, most divorces, most of the time you're on an anti-anxiety medication, comes from money. So it's stressing you out because you don't have it, while simultaneously you're saying, I don't want you, but I need you. Yeah. Like a therapist would be like, it's like a relationship where you're like, go away while you're holding the shirt, right? It's the craziest relationship in the world. Listen, money solves problems. Money allows you to help other people. Money gives you freedom, and money can allow you. There's 2 things I want to say. When I got money out of the way, I ran from a dysfunctional childhood. I figured money would solve all my problems. It solved a lot of problems. It solved my parents' problems. I retired both my parents. I still send both my parents a check every single week. It's been 25 years I've been sending them checks. I buy them both new cars every 3 years. I just bought my mom a brand new house in Virginia. Like, I bought my dad a new house last year. Like, I support both my parents to solve that problem, right? So money gets to solve problems. But when I got past the money, I have to tell you, the only person left standing in the mirror was me. I couldn't use that as an excuse anymore. Like, I'm just running away from a dysfunctional childhood. Shut up. I can't fix being a better man. I can't fix the childhood demons. Like, my dad was physically abused, like his teeth knocked out, abused. Youngest of 12, physically abused. And he never physically abused us, but man, he was tough with me and my sister. My sister still doesn't talk to him. And I had a bleeding ulcer at 12 because my dad caused so much stress in our lives, right? Love him, amazing guy now. He just was dealing with his own demons, right? Yeah. But all that shit, my parents married 9 times, moving 20 times by the time I was 19. Yeah. I tucked all that shit down and focused on making the money to solve the problem. And all of a sudden I looked like, I don't have to freak out about money anymore. Who am I? Yeah. And I got to work on me. I'm in an amazing relationship and I'm a better dad and I think I'm a great team leader and I care about the world because I had the time to work on me. My parents never had the time. They just worked on money and avoiding problems. So one byproduct of money, money creation, no one will tell you, is when you stop worrying about money, you have to look in the mirror at you. I don't know about you, but I did a lot of self-work to be a better human being, to be a better dad. And I couldn't do it when I was just hustling to make the money. It was all about the money.
I always find the most successful people are also the most introspective, I find. They know themselves well, and they're willing to accept, they recognize the flaws and the good pieces too. And so I agree with that. And I was listening to an interview you gave to Ed Mollett.
And that's a good friend. He's an awesome dude.
Yeah, I don't listen to much of his stuff, but it was one of he said something to you that I found interesting, and I want to kind of touch on it because I want some feedback from you on it. He said, when I grew up in a double wide trailer. We were very poor, and a lot of what drove me really for a lot of years was a constant state of fear that the other shoe was going to drop and I was going to end up back in the trailer, right? Okay.
Sign me up. That's me.
But one of the things that he said to you was, he said, I feel like early on in your life, you were really running away from that old life, and then at some point you kind of found something to move towards instead of something to move away from. And you guys may not be anywhere close to this. You might still be in the running away phase and you haven't quite found that thing, but I feel like now I'm moving towards something. Like I see something that I want to build and I want to create. And I have a goal of building $100 million company and impacting millions of people in a positive way. And so when I look at that, it's not wrong to run away from the problem, because often that gives you the motivation, but you really don't find the peace and the joy, I don't think, in what you do until you start running towards. Do you think you can have just the push and not the running away piece? Yeah,
so I think half the world, and I've asked this question on stage multiple times, like, who in this room, I've been on stage with 15,000 people, I said, who in this room has got a life, a career, a relationship that you want to get away from? It's painful and you're here because I'm just sick of that. I need to move away. Who feels that way? It's half the room. I said, who in here, life's okay? You got nothing pressing, nobody came, but you know there's more and you want to move towards a bigger future. The other half of the room raises their hand. It's always split 50-50. And it doesn't matter, if you're moving away from pain, eventually you want to move towards pleasure. What I say is, just amplify whatever it is with no excuses. People say, it's not good to motivate yourself through pain. Bullshit. Like, listen, finding motivation to overcome obstacles is hard regardless. True or not?
True.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you have to say, if I leave my life the way it is, looking back at the pain, if I leave my life the way it is, that's only going to amplify in 5 years. If I don't do anything, this pain I feel in 5 years, think of your most painful time in your life. If you didn't make the change, if you didn't get the Ryan Dice course, if you didn't do that, if you were back there right now and you were still living that, your life went this way, but how would it feel right now if you were still living the life before Ryan Dice?
It'd be horrible.
Like, how does it feel in your hole? Like, if you had to make a noise, it would be like Tony Robbins does this. Like, if you made a noise, it'd be like, like disgusting, right? If that's the way you feel, then amplify it. Don't look away from the pain. Actually stare at it, because that's your destiny if you don't make a move today. So people say, no, that's too painful. Bullshit. Pain moves. If you touch a hot stove, you move fast, right? If you go, no, I'm grateful, I'm blessed, I should be appreciative of what do I have, that's a true story, but like, don't give me that. While simultaneously, there's another level of life waiting. If you got pain, amplify it. If you want more, amplify it. It's like action is required, and if pain is the motivator that gets you to take action, that's okay. Don't live in it forever. And Ed was completely right. There was a shift in I was moving away from pain, and even when the money got out of the way, I still know I was a habit. I was still focusing on the pain of going backwards. Like, I don't know about you, I still have a fear of going broke. It's baked in.
Absolutely.
Like, it is baked in. Someone says you haven't done enough work. I do the work every single day. I write books on personal growth. My friends, I'm blessed to have great friends. Inside, I'm still that kid that's afraid one day I'm going to wake up and it's all going to be gone, because I know that pain of you lived in a double wide. Mine was a single wide.
Yeah.
So you got me on that one, brother.
I was fancy.
You were fancy. You had two of them stacked
right.
together, right?
Yep.
So, but it's okay because that's who I am and I accept it. But simultaneously now I look at, you know, the impact Tony and I, and you know, I'm not, I got another 50, 60 years on this earth, I believe. But I also, I'm looking towards legacy. Like creating courses that help other people be empowered in this industry. It's like, that's how we compound and leave.
Yes.
When I'm gone, it's like, look what the footprint he left.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's up? What's up? Hey, before you go, you need to watch these next few videos. They're absolute game changers. Hurry up and click right over here and watch them, and I'll see you there.